let it roll.
Yate everyone, thank you for being with us this evening. We want to take this time to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands, ancestors of Ogapoge Owenge, where we reside, and all the ancestors from the lands you all come from. Thank you all for blessing us. We honor the communities who ground us and the ancestors whose vision continues to move us forward. And we are honoring Women's History Month. So that's really exciting. So this evening we had a little plot twist. We had a guest host tonight, Sophia Sampson Persh, who is actually unable to join us. Therefore, I'm here. She had a work conflict. So in the meantime, Sophia, being an athlete herself, developed all these gorgeous questions to ask Hayden this evening. So we've collaborated her questions with ours, and we're looking forward to the show. And we are so excited this evening. Everybody, our guest host tonight is the one and only Hayden Conner. Let me just tell you about Hayden before we get started. I wanted to show you a whole bunch of videos of her work, but we're just going to do the show tonight with Hayden and let her speak for herself. You can go to her multiple blog posts and see more about her. We'll get into that in just a moment. In the meantime, Hayden Conner is a Division I bound volleyball athlete whose journey is rooted in discipline, resilience, and purpose. Through years of training, competition, and self-reflection, she's learned that true strength comes from alignment, mind, body, spirit, moving together. Hayden carries her path with humility and intention, offering a grounded perspective on growth, balance, and becoming. She shares her story as a young leader, learning to trust the process and honor the wisdom gained along the way. So, to start, can you introduce yourself, who you are, tribal affiliations, and where you're from, and whatever else you want to share, your clans maybe?
Hi, I'm Hayden Conner. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I am Navajo, and my clan is Bitterwater.
Awesome. That's wonderful. As a member of the Navajo Nation, what parts of your identity feel most foundational to who you are today?
I would say a lot of it is my culture, my values have really guided me a lot through my life. I mean, my mom and my grandma have taught me a lot, especially about discipline and just my values. I feel like my family is one of the really important to me because it's like knowing where I came from and like how I'm connected to like other things more than just like volleyball and how I carry myself into like everyday situations. I feel like the values my mom has taught me especially just guides me through life so much easier. And it just gives me like a strong sense of like responsibility and like belonging and just knowing like just like how I live with like balance and just awareness. And I'm just so glad I've had like my mom especially to teach me these things. And I feel like that's really helps me day to day, especially even on the court too, like with discipline. I know my mom is one of the strongest person I've ever known. And it's taught me to definitely be strong and encouraged me to just keep on going. So I feel like that's one of the biggest parts of, how I link it to my day to day.
Well, in doing a little bit of research about you and your background, I understand that your mother's also a person that has been heavily involved with athletics and immersed herself in that to keep her on the straight and narrow. And then now as a mother, obviously her children, or is it you, the only one that's following suit? Like, how does that work in your family with athletics and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my mom definitely, she played a lot of res ball growing up. She always tells me, I swear every day. But yeah, so and my dad also, he played a lot of sports growing up. He played lacrosse. And my parents really wanted all their children to play sports with me and my two other older sisters. And I'm the one who kind of stuck with it more. Me and my sisters tried a lot of sports, and I just ended up, loving volleyball. But I feel like my mom played a really big part in playing sports and just having that aggressive mindset and, channeling it in a good way and doing good things with it.
That's awesome. So, as a young emerging woman, what does Women's Month mean to you?
To me, I mean, it means a great deal because it's honoring the women who came before me. Really, I mean, especially the women in my family who didn't get a lot of opportunities, but yet came out strong in the end and doing many successful things. But it's also like how it's shaped me and who I am, and like just it means to be strong and grounded, and how like supportive of others we are. I feel like it's a time that reminds me to just step in like my own voice and like potential. Just being a young woman today, I feel like means like navigating challenges. It's not easy. I will say it's not easy being a woman, but it's also having the opportunities to grow and lead and make change. So this month, like I feel like really encourages me to be confident in who I am and just to support other women as they do the same.
That is incredibly mature of you for being a sprightly 17-year-old. That's wonderful. You're very mature. So I understand your paternal grandmother is in Long Island, New York, and your maternal grandmother is on the Navajo lands. Can you tell us one important feature in life that your Masana and Nale Astzan have taught you in honor of Women's History Month?
Mhm. Um, so my masana, my on my maternal side, she she's definitely taught me a great deal about discipline, resilience, and just strength. Based on what my mom has told me about her mom, she sounds like the world's like strongest woman I've ever known, and I've haven't even been with her my whole life. So, um, I she it was hard, especially back then, for women to get the same opportunities and to find work and a lot of that, and even just getting education. Um, but one of the things is discipline, and I thought I really learned that from my masana on my maternal side, Emma Dixon, because she was one of the first um, women in our family to go to college and obtain a master's degree, which is a crazy accomplishment, and I'm super proud of her for that. So that's one of those things that kind of stuck to me is, a lot of people don't think education is important, but back then it was a really hard thing for women to be able to do. So I'm very appreciative, and that's something she taught me, to be very appreciative, my education and my access to it. And then on my paternal side, my grandma grandma in Long Island, New York, kind of the same situation. It was still hard to find work, and but she ended up going to college also and becoming a nurse practitioner. Like woman in medical field, it's like kind of unheard of back then, and definitely way more challenging. So I feel like both of them just really showed resilience of hard work and what it leads to, which was great success for both of them, and how they're just thriving now, no matter like the challenges of whether what gender they were or what like less opportunities they had. So I feel like they both really taught me in that way.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. That makes me think of my Nala son,
Mhm.
Norma Terry in New York, Utica. She was one of the first women to get a PhD, like way a long time ago. So she
Mhm.
was a child psychiatrist. So
Uh,
Dr. Norma Terry is my grand Nala son. So that's awesome. Yay. Let's give a little bit of shine some light on your father. Tell us a little bit about your father.
mhm. So my father, he was born in New York. Um, and he decided to come down to Arizona because he did not like the cold there. And that's where he met my mom. And he played lacrosse in high school. He loved it. He went to Clemson University, graduated, and worked in like the engineering field. He did pass away about like 5-6 years ago from cancer, but I try not to reflect too much on that because I feel like the more important thing to remember is what a great man he was and father he was to me, or even just a friend. He was one of the most friendly guys I've ever met, and a really great, funny guy. And he taught me a lot of great things about, manners and all his stories about when he was younger. And it just kind of reflects back on me and like learning from those and learning from his mistakes, and he always loved coming to my games. So that's something I always love to think about, of how far he would think I've came from volleyball, but also something crazy to think because no one in my family knew how far I would have gone with volleyball. So, miss him very much, but he was, a great man. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I understand. It hurts losing a father. It really does. So, in corresponding with your mother, I understand you're in New York City right now.
Yeah.
And so Phoenix, you got Navajo Nation, you got Long Island, you got family in New York City. So you're literally like Arizona to New York. You're like cross country, like culturally. Can you talk a little about how you navigate that? Like what does it feel like to be in New York City? Why are you in New York City?
Yeah. So I'm in New York City right now because I'm visiting my oldest sister. She lives in New York City, and I'm visiting her for my spring break. So she's been living here for like a few months now. She just graduated from Columbia University, so applause for that. So yeah, so she loved New York City, so she stayed here. So that's why I'm visiting her here. And family being from Arizona and New York, I personally love it just because it's like a lot of connections, and it's just I get two different views of like environment and the world and just people, So I feel like a lot of my Arizona family and people that I know are a lot of natives, especially on my mom's side. So I get that side, the like loud, like fun, like crazy, like just community that we all have where everyone knows each other, but like you don't really at the same time, but you do. It's like so crazy how everyone is linked together and how all of us just like know each other without even having to like talk to each other for like 5 minutes. It's a crazy community, but I love it so much. And having to travel all the way to New York is just a totally different experience, more like calm and definitely more greener area. But that family is, I don't get to see them a lot. So obviously, because it's difficult to, obviously go out to New York and fly. But getting just those two views is just, I feel like it's really good because it just shows how different, but how great it is to just have family all around and just connections, just to know people. So I don't know. I love the like idea of community and family. So I really enjoy having to go back and forth to Arizona and New York.
That is such a blessing. So now let's move into sports. Early sports journey. Now this comes from Sophia. How did you first get into athletics and what drew you to volleyball?
Yeah, so my parents, like I said, really wanted all my sisters and I to play sports. They really thought it was very important because they played sports growing up. And so my mom put us in basketball because she really wanted us to play. My oldest kind of stuck with it. My middle sister and I, we didn't really like it too much. It was a little bit too much contact for us, but yeah. So I would say I was kind of the experiment child with sports. I played a lot. So I played lacrosse, soccer, basketball, volleyball. And then I ended up just sticking with volleyball because I just enjoyed it so much. I mean, at first I didn't think, because my oldest two sisters played club volleyball, and I saw them play and I was like, oh, okay, like it doesn't seem that fun. And so my mom was like, Hayden, like, I want you to try it. So she made me go to an open gym, and I remember I did not want to go. I was like, I don't think I'll enjoy it. I'm not gonna have fun. Like, just please don't let me go. I ended up having to go. Um, so, but then I actually ended up really enjoying it. I At first I wasn't the best at it, I would say. I was just really tall, so that really attracted a lot of coaches. But that's kind of how I got into it. My parents really wanted us to start a sport, and just volleyball just stuck out to me because just the team aspect of it, and how like every single like thing that goes into like a certain point, you need like a pass, a set, and a kill. You need everyone on the team to be a part of just even one single point, which sounds just like, yeah. So that's what attracted to me. And also, I just didn't really like running a lot. So that's why I kind of stopped soccer and basketball.
So you say, okay, so I know you're 17 and you say you're tall. How tall are you?
I am 6'3".
That is so awesome. Gosh, I'm like envious. That's beautiful. I love tall people. I know there's like a lot of tall Navajos out there, so
Mm-hmm.
that's wonderful. Um, so the other thing is that I wanted to ask you is about your skill development. And again, this is a Sophia question. What were the toughest skills or mental barriers you had to learn in volleyball, and how did you overcome them?
I would this the toughest skill to learn in volleyball is definitely the mental part of it, because it's not really something you can teach. It's something you have to learn on your own. And it's a very difficult thing a lot of athletes go through, and you can just get stuck in this mental part and hole where it's super hard to get out of. I think that's one of the toughest things I've had to learn going through sports. I never really thought it was a big deal until you start getting into great competition. And I would say half of volleyball is mental and half is physical. You could be like a mediocre player but have the best mentality, and you can win games way over that. But you can play against the best players in the world with the worst mentality, they're most likely not going to win. So it's a lot of it is the mentality of things, and the confidence going into games is the biggest thing I think you have to learn. Um and then the mental barriers, it's just biggest thing is comparing. A lot of athletes love to compare with each other, and that's something I also did when I was younger, and I had to learn that it is probably the worst thing you can do as an athlete. You're on your own path. Every single athlete has a different path. You're never you should never ever compare yourself to any other athlete, because you guys are always going through different things, different mindsets, different coaches, different positions. So that's the biggest thing I had to learn. And once I did, it made sports way easier for me.
So, as so how do you measure growth, stats, film, how you feel on the court, feedback from coaches? Are you okay with all of that, or does some of it hit your sensitive nerves?
Yeah, so especially getting into more competitive play, a stats is a very big thing. Um, and it really measures your growth statistically, but it really helps to see like where you're at. So as and for my position as a middle blocker, what I look at is hitting percentage. So I want to hit about uh higher than like a 300 as a middle, and then um for kills you want to get at least more than 5. So it's like, I would say none of it really hits me hard. I mean, it's obviously when you're looking at stats and you don't achieve the certain what you're supposed to be achieving, it definitely hurts a little bit. But you have to understand, every game's not going to be perfect. And it's the life of sports. It's what you kind of sign up for. It's, there's going to be hills, there's going to be lows. It's um And then feedback from coaches. Me personally, I love when a coach will just tell me straight up. I don't really like the babying. I don't like, hey, it's okay. I need like straight up just like comments and feedback. Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? So I really like when coaches are hard on me, and I never ever take it personal, because that is sports. And so, and I also think part of it is because, my parents were hard on me. So I think that's why it doesn't have such a big effect when it comes from coaches. Because if you think about it, it's really just a game. So you just can't take it to heart and know that your coaches are trying to do what's best for you when they're giving that feedback. So.
Well, there's definitely a differentiation on how parents parent nowadays and how parents parented a generation when you were born, and then how parents parented when your mom was born, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And in the old days, kids used to get spankings. I don't know if that still happens today. But I think, with proper consequences, I guess it's merited. I mean, you can't always be giving ice cream for everything, especially when you misbehave. So, do you have a pre-game routine or ritual that grounds you?
I used to, a couple years ago, I used to be very superstitious. So I had to do like everything a certain way. Like, I had to do my hair like perfectly, like no bumps. I had to put on my like equipment and stuff like that, like the same way. Tape my fingers the same way. But now I became like really like less focused on that. So, but I would say for my like pregame routine is definitely just like blocking out any noise and just like not thinking about anything besides just the game, because that's, in the moment you can't think about anything else or be stressed about anything else. I love to listen to hype music, definitely before games. That's a big thing. And then I do still tape my fingers the same way before every game. It's just athletic tape you put over every knuckle. I do it twice around, and then I'll write like little notes with like Sharpie on my tape, like little reminders on the court, like with whatever I need. So like stay like strong or like be loud. Just like little reminders like that, I put on my finger tape.
I love it. Affirmations. I went to see a friend in the East Coast and went to her house. In fact, Sophia's mom, and she's got all these beautiful artistic affirmations throughout her whole house. And I'm just like, wow, looking at that, getting all inspired all the way around. So that's great. So let's move on into now, how do you carry your Indigenous identity into practice, competition, and the classroom?
I carry my Indigenous background with me into practice and competition. I feel like through values and mindset that I've been raised with as a member of the Navajo Nation. It's not something always visible, but it's like always, just present when I show up. It's like in everything I do. I try to stay grounded. I keep balance. I stay respectful. One of the biggest things I personally think about is respect. I've always been taught to learn to respect your elders, respect your family, expect, anyone of higher age. So that's one of the things I've always learned, especially I carry with practice, competition, classroom. So with teachers, coaches, practice, I respect everyone. That's just something I've always been taught. And another thing is just I try to listen and learn and stay open-minded while just being like proud of where I came from, even in spaces where my culture isn't widely represented. Because I would say Indigenous needs to be more represented in sports. But I think everyone can agree on that. But I just see it as like an opportunity to bring awareness and to show what it means to come from a strong Indigenous background. But overall, like my identity just guides how I act, how I treat others, how I push myself. It's just kind of like a quiet like strength I always have with me.
That's great. Is there any traditional like values, teachings, or origin stories that guide you? Could be ideas of teamwork, leadership, resilience?
I would say I learned a lot growing up about leadership and resilience. Obviously, resilience from my grandmothers, and then my mom, who also grew up, with not the most opportunities, but she ended up going to college and becoming a very successful woman in my eyes. And it's, um, I've been always taught about resilience. Even if you don't have the opportunities, there's always another way. I've always been kind of taught that there's always another way, even if it may be harder. But that's just kind of I just been kind of taught it's just life. But it's it's just having to stay strong and resilient, because not everything's going to come to you easy, and just staying open-minded in a lot of things, and how change is a very good thing. I used to think change was very scary, but my mom has taught me to be very open-minded, and it has created so many opportunities with me, with recruiting, with volleyball, so with like NIL stuff. So I think the biggest thing is just being open-minded and resilient in my just everyday life.
Great answer. So I understand that your mother goes out of her way to travel with you to all your tournaments. So where do you guys go? I mean, do you fly? Do you drive? And when you're together on these trips, do you bond more? I mean, do you have fun besides just going to a sports game? Do you go catch a movie or go to the mall? Or is it just like straight discipline? Get to the gym, kid. What's it like?
Yeah, so I would say it's a lot. So with our travel tournaments, we do mostly fly. I mostly fly with my team, and then my mom catches like a later flight. So we don't really fly together a lot, but she's always at every single game, which I'm super grateful for. Um, so I feel like that's kind of something we bond about, just having her see me go through like my ups and downs in games, and just honestly just having her presence and being there for me is just a quiet bond that I feel like we always share, and she's been with me my whole volleyball journey. So, but yeah, so like with our travel tournaments, it's our club calls it a business trip, so we're not allowed to do or go out or anything. It's get to the hotel, get your meal prep, do our like pregame practice. It's just straight business for us. So it's not a vacation, even though most people think it might be because we're traveling, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, when I heard that I follow you on social media,
Mhm.
Instagram and Facebook, and when I saw that you were in Minneapolis, I was thinking about all these amazing Indigenous places you could go, and because
Yeah.
I travel through there and we gig there sometimes, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're doing all that kind of stuff, because I like to follow athletes and different types of artists on social media. So, speaking of which, have you ever felt any pressure or responsibility representing your tribe, and how do you approach that?
I would say yes. I mean, it's not always a negative pressure, but it's more of like just I'm representing something more than just myself. It's just my whole clan, my whole tribe. I see it as like a responsibility to represent my culture in like a positive and respectful way, especially in like places where Indigenous people aren't always well represented and or understood. It just pushes me to be mindful of my actions and to work hard and stay grounded in who I am. But at the same time, I've just learned to like balance that pressure by reminding myself like I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be authentic. So, but carrying my identity with pride just while staying true to myself is honestly what matters. But I would say yes, I have felt a little bit of pressure and responsibility, but it was never a negative pressure though. It was more just wanting to represent my tribe, um, in just a positive way.
Yeah, that sounds about right. When people travel, they represent their tribe.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Just like, and they say your ancestors travel with you. So whoever was in your family that's now in the spirit world, they're with you.
Hmm.
So that's a really wonderful, comforting feeling, because we've all had to deal with loss in family, as you
Hmm.
mentioned. So have you at your young age. So, next question. When did you start pursuing social media and why?
So I started pursuing social media when I was, I would say 14, which was when I kind of decided I wanted to play in college and go far with the sport. Because obviously social media, it's growing. It's the big thing now. And I realized it's also another way to go out there, be out there and show my stuff to coaches because that's a lot. It's a lot. It's what all like college coaches are using now. All they use is social media and websites and especially Instagram. Instagram's the biggest one, I would say. And so that's when I started pursuing social media, like posting Instagram reels, posting my highlights, even just posting who I am, just to show coaches I'm more than just like volleyball and just like following coaches, following, volleyball like websites and stuff like that, just trying to like put myself out there as like an athlete.
Do you feel like there's a social media courtesy to when you're scrolling and you're looking at different friends and family and people you admire? Do you feel a responsibility to, I want their support, someone like them too? I mean, do you give them likes and little, positive little pumps here and there, positive affirmations and stuff? As because obviously I want to talk about how many people, but yeah, do you do that? Do you feel like it's a reciprocity thing as well?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I've met a lot of, volleyball. It's like it's just a whole different world. Everyone's like connected and knows each other in some sort of way, especially online. And I've definitely followed a lot of volleyball girls in my class, and like supported them, like their stuff, followed them, and commented on their post. And so then they would follow me back, and so we just be kind of became mutuals online. And it's just because I've always like been taught it's like it's more of who you know, and just it's so like if this person knows me, then they can tell that person, it can lead to great things. So it's I definitely do spread a lot of like likes and comments and follows and stuff like that, because it's also just getting to know people, and I feel like that's another great thing for like exposure.
How do you protect yourself from scammers and, kind of bad behavior on social media?
For bad behavior, because I have had to deal with it sometimes. Um, I usually like with comments and stuff, I usually just let it go. I don't respond to it. I don't encourage it at all. I'll usually tell like my coach and be like, "Oh my gosh, like what they said." But I never ever encourage it because that's like the worst thing you can ever do. You just let them comment, give you the boost in your um profile because they're helping me out more than they're helping themselves out with commenting stuff. So, but with like scammers, you usually can tell with scammers because they don't have a lot of followers. If they have a big following, like more than like 10,000, it's most likely not going to be a scam. But I also always check, like whenever someone reaches out with anything, I always like talk to my mom about it before I like do anything. So like I also have an upper voice helping me out.
Yeah, that's good to know. So, what do you see as the future for your social platforms?
For my social platforms, I would say definitely an influence, hopefully. I mean, a great influence to athletes who are like looking for advice or, having to like work between like academics and athletics. I plan on continuing my social platform on everything like Instagram, TikTok, and just like posting, especially once I get to college, just to like show my like brand and stuff, and hopefully have a great influence on especially young athletes and recruits who are going to go through the same recruiting thing, and hopefully can come to me and if they need help or anything. So that's where I see myself, because I would love to help the next generation with volleyball recruiting because I still enjoy it. So
That's awesome. So, how many are the most hits you've had or received on any of your platforms?
so on Instagram, I most hits I've had like 50,000 views and like 10,000 likes, which is mostly about, I mostly get a lot of hits on my volleyball reels where I show like my highlights and hits and stuff. And then on TikTok, I get a lot of I get a lot more hits with volleyball stuff. So I got like 300,000 views and like
Can you repeat that number again? I apologize.
300,000 views on this like volleyball TikTok, and then I think like 50,000 likes, and then like, cause yeah, so I mean, it's definitely fun and just to find out what people like, and I realized people like a lot more of my volleyball life, so I try to post more about that, and that's what kind of gets people more engaged with my platform.
Yeah, it's sports, it's
Yeah.
rodeo, it's music, it's
Mhm.
festival, it's arts, it's all this stuff that bring people together because people want to get out of their house.
Yeah.
So, to go to a volleyball game, it's like I can watch some really good playing with some good techniques and basketball, football,
Yeah.
volleyball. Yeah, I mean, baseball, but
Yeah.
I can enjoy, if I go to a live baseball game, I enjoy it. And rugby in New Zealand and Australia is really fun. They do a lot of kickball there. They call it football. So great. That is so cool. Many blessings as you move forward with that. So now let's move on to advice for recruits and younger athletes. What's your best advice for Indigenous student athletes or any athlete starting recruiting? When should they do it in freshman, sophomore versus junior, senior years?
So for freshman and sophomore year, my advice is definitely put yourself out there, even if you think it's embarrassing. Just put yourself out there on Instagram, just with sports in general. Like I feel like nowadays social media is the biggest thing you can do by getting exposure, by posting a lot. So that really helped me with my freshman and sophomore year. That's all I did. I just posted. I sent a big thing you should do as a freshman and sophomore, because that's before you can like get recruited and like talk to coaches, is sending emails. I sent a lot of emails to like I think every single university. I had to send 100 emails to 100 different colleges before every travel tournament, saying, "Hey, like, come watch me play. Like, this is where I'm playing. I'd love for you to come watch me. I'll send in my highlights." Making highlight reels, very important. And then you send that to the coaches. Show your stuff. Always put your best kills and blocks or passes in the beginning of every highlight video, because that's what they're going to see first. So that's what I think is the biggest thing is emails. Even though they can't respond yet your freshman and sophomore year, they still look at them, I promise you. And it's very important, because when it gets to your junior senior year and they see that you haven't sent anything or showed interest, they're like, oh, okay, like we'll move on to the next kid. So it's very big. Biggest thing, send emails. And then the second thing is social media. Just put yourself out there, just exposure. That's literally all you need, and it can get you in the right place 100%.
So who taught you all this stuff? I mean, who guides you along this? Do you have like somebody at the school teaching you this stuff, or friends you're all into it, or your mom, or how does that work?
Mhm. So when I joined my club, Arizona Storm Elite, when I was 15, which was like the big recruiting year, that's who really taught me everything, which was our club director, Terry Span. She has so many connections. She has done club volleyball like for many years, so she has so much experiences. She gets so many girls recruited and just knows like the way and how to just get yourself out there. So she really taught me everything I know. It's just put yourself out there, send a lot of emails, send a lot of highlights. Like it's okay to be annoying. Like she told me it's okay to be annoying. If you think you're being annoying, then you're doing it right. Like you can never be too much to show like how much you want to go to the school, because then they'll really know and like look into you. So that's who really taught me all of this stuff.
Well, much credit to that person. We
Hmm.
thank them.
Yeah.
So when you are out there in the midst of it all, outside of Arizona, because of course you got a lot of native peeps out there, and I'm sure a lot of them go to your games and support you in
Yeah.
that way. But when you're out and you're like, say, like you're the only native in the whole assembly of players, do you feel lonely sometimes? Do you like wish there was more natives, or do you feel like, hey, check me out, man, I want to show you what natives are all about? How does that feel?
Yeah. I feel like it's both ways. I mean, obviously, I wish there were more natives in volleyball. Um, but I mean, I've been very blessed with the opportunities I've been given. But I mean, it's hard to see not a lot of Indigenous girls in volleyball like me, and it does get lonely at times. But then I realize, like, okay, well, I'm just gonna show my stuff. I'm gonna represent us, and I'll just show what we're all about, basically. And we're not here to play. And I'm so glad I get to represent my native community because um, we're underrepresented and we need to be represented like way more because, I just think we just need to be involved more in athletics and be given more opportunities.
Thank you so much for saying that because I see that a lot too in the music world, especially being a native musician, they're just few and far between, but more and more are coming up. It's pretty awesome to see all the natives that are coming up in the music scene, and all
Yeah.
the natives that are coming up. And, there's some amazing barrel racers out there too. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Really good horse people out there in tribal regions because, that's one of the main things is ranching. So it's a big part of it. A lot of reservation Indians' lives. So that's really
Yeah.
beautiful, and I think that just instills a whole sense of when you're caretaking for yourself, you're caretaking. The horse needs to be fed,
Yeah.
that dogs needs to be fed, and all of that. There's just another sense of responsibility besides self, and that kind of instills that. And then when the parent gets that, they have kids, and even if they're raising them in a city, they raise them with those same kind of values. So I think that's really important too. So we are coming to the close of this portion of the interview, and we're not quite done yet. But I do want to ask you, what are common mistakes you see in recruiting, and how can athletes avoid them?
A common mistake I see a lot is not keeping academics a priority. I feel like coaches look at the full student athlete, not just the performance. Yes, the performance can get you a lot of places, but slipping in grades and just not staying organized can close a lot of doors and can cross out a lot of college options, even if you're the most like talented player there. And then I also see a lot of athletes not doing enough research on programs. I feel like sometimes people like only focus on the name and the level of the school instead of whether it's like actually a good fit for them, like academically, athletically, and just like personally, like the community. So I feel like those two are the biggest mistakes I see, and I would like to avoid them. Athletes just should stay organized, communicate clearly but respectfully, and then take control of their own recruiting process. I feel like building relationships with coaches, staying consistent in both school and sports, and choosing a program that truly fits who you are can just make a huge difference.
So in your 17 years, I'm sure you've had your fair share amount of lessons earned and learned. So if you were to go back 3 years to age 14 when you decided, hey, I think I can actually be good at this, and I don't know if at 14 you were thinking, maybe I can get a free ticket to college too, and university at that. If you were 14 again, what would you tell yourself about patience, confidence, and handling rejection? I mean, I don't know if you've received any rejection because from what I've seen, you've kind of been a star from the get-go. But what would you tell yourself now? Because there's going to be some 14-year-olds watching this show too.
Yeah. It's very important to have patience. I mean, everyone's process is different. No one has ever had the same process, and some girls will get recruited early and go to this college, but it will take time. It will take time, and I feel like the biggest thing is do not rush things. You're on your own process. Don't compare yourself to other people's processes. Good things will come 100% to those good people. So I feel like I would definitely tell myself about patience is just wait. I promise, like, good things will come if you're just patient. Do not rush things. Like, if you rush things, then you'll just make crazy decisions that could honestly hurt you in the end. So, and then confidence. I mean, it's all about like your self-talk. I feel like the big thing in sports, I mean, you can't be telling yourself I can't do it, or I'm horrible. You just got to say it's okay, like reset. Biggest thing is obviously the mental part and the confidence part, but that's also something you learn through your mistakes and through your achievements. So I feel like through confidence, do not base your confidence on stats or your accolades. You're way more than just your achievements.
Very good advice. That's advice from an elder, because there's plenty of elders out there that have been the college, the high school beauty queen, and this, that, and the other, and all of that. And then when all of that fades, there's the essence, there's the wisdom to pass down to the next generations. And there's nothing more beautiful than that we get from our elders, is that beauty, there's that wisdom, like they know so much, and it's really nice starting to fall into that category as well. So thank you so much. Last question. What does community mean to you?
To me, I mean, community is just my sense of belonging and just support and connections that I have. I mean, as a member of the Navajo Nation, community isn't just about where you live. It's about the people who you surround yourself with, who guides you, who uplifts you. It's just like it means knowing that you're never alone with what you're going through, whether it's family, teammates, mentors, coaches. But also comes with responsibility. So like being a part of community means both ways. So it's showing up for others, giving back, and representing those who support you in a positive way, and you'll 100% get that back if you're surrounded by, amazing people. But for me, community is where I personally find my strength, identity, and purpose. And it may not have been easy, but it was definitely a process, and it just keeps me grounded and reminds me of who I am and also who I'm working for.
Well, there's definitely not a shortage of Navajos in Phoenix. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Hayden. And you are truly a professional. You've done great answering all the questions. I'm going to pass it on to Elena now. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Right on. Thanks so much for that, Taj. And Hayden, thank you so much for that extraordinary interview celebrating Women's History Month. And this is why we had Hayden on. She spoke about being underrepresented, and her lineage from her Masane, who is on, Emma Dixon, her amazing mother, Jerry Conner, and her sisters who are here. And making history is about the courage and standing up. And so we're looking at future generations. So thanks so much for that, Hayden. So if this is your first time in the circle, welcome. I'm going to do a quick commercial break, and then we're going to encourage you all to come back in, turn on your mics and also your cameras. And if you have a comment or want to say hi to the beautiful Hayden, this is the time. So same time, same place, same channel. Our next wonderful guest for April the 15th is the beautiful Sherry Hicks, who is an internationally acclaimed performance artist, storyteller, musician, inspired ASL artist, who works and bridges deaf, hearing, and coda worlds through movement, humor, and heart. Born into a deaf family with ASL as her first language, she brings language to life as ceremony, rhythm, and shared experience. Sherry's performance invites audiences to enjoy connection and the deep wisdom held in embodied language and community. So this Indigenous Wisdom Circle happens the third Wednesday of each month. The beautiful Sherry is going to be our April presenter, and we started this April the 1st, 2020. We have over 200 presenters, and we're also going to be having the beautiful Hayden Conner, and this what you just witnessed archived in our website, IndigenousWays.org, in the video library. So that's going to be available in the next 72 hours. So if you want to share that with your friends and peeps, we encourage you to do that. Also, if you're at our website, IndigenousWays.org, please subscribe to our newsletter so you know what is happening. And then below me, you'll see our wonderful social media, as Hayden was talking about, and how important that is, of what getting all of her stuff out with the amazing likes and views of what's been happening. I also want to give a plug to Hayden as a name to watch out for, of why we've brought her in, particularly at this time of Women's History Month, as Hayden Conner will be a name that we will believe that you need to look out to or look out for. Anyway, share and like our pages with your friends, especially if you're viewing now, watching a video of Conner or any of our amazing people in the archive. All of our virtual events have ASL interpreters and are free, so we're grateful for our 2 interpreters tonight, Sandra Dunn at the moment, and also Raylene Skeets. And thank you to our sponsors, including the City of Santa Fe Arts and Culture Department, as well as the National Endowment of the Arts in celebration of America 250. So what's also coming up, be sure to save these dates. We have our Indigenous Ways Film Festival, which is coming up next month, as well as our Indigenous Ways Festival, which is the start of Indian Market Week here in Santa Fe. And also what's going to be very new that we're going to be doing is the Indigenous Ways Red Road, that we're very excited about at the end of September. And as we're all here for the Wisdom Circle is what is going on. Also, we have our film festival just around the corner. We're so excited to share our features. So this is going to be happening Friday, the 17th of April, and also Saturday, the 17th of April. Our feature films that we have on Saturday, one is The Eternal Song, which will be happening on the Saturday. This is the first in a 12-film documentary series, which is a cinematic journey through timeless lands and indigenous cultures, voices from across generations and traditions that invite us to witness the enduring scars of colonization on the lands and people, and the healing pathways carried through ancestral wisdom. And also we will also have in the evening our second or our third feature, which is Māori, which unveils the profound ancestral wisdom woven into Māori healing traditions, illuminating the restoration path to mend the wounds inflicted by colonization. This film is a testament to the radiant beauty and unbreakable resilience of the Māori culture, and that's the mob that I come from. We're so honored to have this, and thank SANS, the Science and Non-Duality, and the co-founders Zaya and Māori Zio Bonzaso, who's giving us permission to show these. So we're really excited. We also have panelists after each of the films, and right now the student films are being assessed to as in what will be played there. All of our programs, including the film festival, will have closed caption and also ASL interpreters, and it's accessible. We'll be having this at the Black Box Theatre at the Institute of American Indian Arts at the Performance Arts Department. So we are super, super jazzed about that. And if you're able to donate you can at our PayPal Venmo, or you can go to our website, IndigenousWays.org, to the donate if you're able to, and if you're not, that's okay. But we're just very, very honored that you're all here. That investment, if you're able to get it, is not only supporting the artists, the ASL interpreters, and all of these wonderful things. I also want to give a big shout out to our donors as well. And then I'm going to bring back everyone. And then if you're able to, if, you know what, this always changes. So I'm always trying to find or try to remember where the little thing is to bring you all back in. But Tash, while I'm trying to find this, is there anything?
Thank you very much.
Say?
As soon as Elena is able to unblock the video cameras, you're all welcome to come in. We do have 5 minutes left. We are stopping at the top of the hour, so come in really quick to give a hug virtually, to say hi to Hayden. Don't ask a question because we don't have time. But you're welcome to do a little quick chat on the sidebar if you want to say something to Hayden.
Yeah, while I'm trying to find it in Destiny, if you can help me, if you can throw in your questions.
There we go. It's open.
Oh, right on, Des. Can you open it up?
It's already done, Elena.
Oh, God, you're amazing. Thank you. All right. It's no time to be shy now, thanks to Destiny and finding it.
First,
if you go
I'll
to
take
your
it from here,
camera,
Elena.
bottom left, flick it on or anything like that. I'll come in the back end and bring you in. Thanks, Tash.
Let's start with Arletta. Arletta, how you doing this evening? How you doing, Arletta? Thanks for joining us from Lukachukai, L-U-K.
I really, really like sports, and I enjoy playing volleyball back in high school quite some time ago. So I was quite surprised, and I am wondering about your coach.
Guess I got disconnected.
Do you want to become a coach, Hayden? Do you have that as an aspiration one day?
Yes, I definitely 100% would love to coach once I finish college. I would love to come back to Arizona and give back to my club and coach there for a little bit until I find hopefully maybe a better position to be head coach at a university or a different coach or, but I would, yes, 100%, I would love to keep on coaching and just give back to the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Arletta. Good to see you. Let's go to Emma Dixon.
Awesome.
Emma Dixon, do you want to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hello, Yat Ashiaja, Hayden, and everyone else. Thank you for showing up. I had a hard time getting in.
It's Hayden's grandmother.
Yat Ashiaja.
I'm Asana.
Let's go to Mary Ann. Hey, Mary Ann, do you want to unmute?
I'm having a hard time.
We hear you. We hear you.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. I can see everybody, not everybody, but just you and Elena. And I saw Hayden as well. And I am so proud of her. I'm so proud of you. And I just want to say hello and give you a virtual hug. That is it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. We're going to give the last word to Mama Bear Conner. Mama Bear Conner, you want to unmute? One more word, too, after Jerry.
Hi. I just want to say hi. It was a good interview. You did a good job.
Thank
hi,
you.
Mom. It's fun
Proud Mama. Okay, let's go to Michelle Redman. Would you all like to say something, Nijoni, Missy, Doug?
Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi there.
it was really cool to hear you talking about your athletics, Hayden. I love getting the life update, and Hayden's my cousin, so
I know it's been a while since I saw you.
it has been, yeah. But it's been really cool to see all your success and to hear about it more today, and just really proud of everything that you've been doing for yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and good luck with everything that you're going to be doing next year. I know that's going to be really exciting.
I know it will be. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Nijoni,
everyone.
and I
On that
think-
beautiful note, I just want to thank everyone in the live that have come in, and Brave turning on those cameras and giving an incredible shout out. And if you're watching the recording, thanks for taking the time and being here. Thank you to our interpreters, our ASL interpreters, Sandra Dunn and also Raylan Skeets. We'll look forward to seeing you all, same time, same channel, April 15th, with the beautiful Sherry Hicks. But in the meantime, let's give it up to this extraordinary woman doing amazing things, the one and only Hayden Conner!
All right, Hayden. Yay.
Let's hear your new song.